Objection!
Okay, anyway. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. I have an objection. You do? Gee, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry. I'm Laurice Dunim. It has not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 p.m. The sister only said around 11. In which case, it could have been earlier than that. Watch your footing there, Miss Francesca and Karma. The slope ahead is slippery, for there is still no way that the Wright could have been at the Dusky Bridge at 11 p.m. And why not? It is clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out. Therefore, the bridge must have been burning until at least 11:15 p.m. Which means, what exactly? Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by flames that night. In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until after the flames had died down. Larry, you arrived at the bridge at 11 p.m., but Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now then, what happened during those missing 15 minutes? I feel like I just got brutally woken up by a toilet splashback. Ew. I guess I was still sleeping after all. Something pinch me. Order. So there was a missing 15 minutes prior to meeting Phoenix Wright. I hardly see that as much of a problem. Yeah, not much of a problem at all. Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes and there is a phone right next to it. Why then did you not report the accident? Yes, witness, why didn't you? Were you there simply to watch the bridge burn? And therein lies the problem. For even after the bridge had burnt out, he was still there. Staring into space. This witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty. That's what it sounds like. But this is Larry we are talking about, and even he is incapable of being so stupid. Which means there has to be a reason for his inaction. Edgy. I think it's about time I got serious with you, dude. Just as I thought, you've been playing with us all this time. Listen, I'm going to tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all? Yes? Maybe? Question mark? Am I gonna get hit in the head again? Then say it. Very well, I have a terribly bad feeling about this. However, let's have the witness finally give his whole truth. Now, for this 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness? I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up in the frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, it transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized it, the flames had gone out, and then he came running up. Do we have a picture for this? And I bet there's a picture that he drew, and you'll see the snowmobile in it. Yes. I suppose artists can be as strange, folks. That's right. I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch. Including the truth from the sound of it. Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts? Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains. And what would that be? This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him. You'll regret this, Edgy. No, I will. Because I have to listen to him for 15 more minutes. I'm an artist. Tell us, Larry. My name is Laurice. Get it right. Mistakes like that are what keep you from being popular with the ladies like I am. Just who exactly are you? I'm Laurice Dunim, apprentice extraordinaire. That's what he calls himself in any case. Then you are an artist? Of course, I'm an artist, the real thing. Yet again, that's what he calls himself. Names mean nothing. There's only one issue I care to discuss. What were you doing? That is a very big issue indeed. Sketching the burning bridge? The burning bridge and everything that came with it. What? Came with it? You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this. That sketch of mine is... Enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness. What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. That does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth. What should I do? I've got a terrible feeling that the instant the sketch is revealed, the entire world may be changed by what is depicted there. Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please? Well, even I couldn't have imagined it turn out like this. Imagined what? That Laurice Dunim debut would take place here today, like this. Ouch! Show it now! Okay, steel yourselves. This is the world of Laurice Dunim. There's a fairy. Well. So this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Karma? Yes, well, it's a better drawing than I expected. Isn't it? I struggled to reproduce those flames, I really did. Yes, I am sure you did. This is going to get ugly. No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry! What? The burning bridge is fine. But what is that unfortunate-looking figure? Oh, you spotted that. I thought you might. However much I might want to ignore it, I can't. It's Iris, of course. Iris! I wish she'd take better care of herself. We have to plan our future, you know. What would have happened to her if she had just injured herself flying like that? Larry, please answer this next question honestly. Okay. Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant? Flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames? Yep, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist, a real artist. Are you high? The girl... I was actually thinking he sounds really high right now. The girl, she's really high up in this picture. Nice cover there, Judge. What was that for? This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory. Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that the people can fly. Actually, there is some precedent for this. She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She was about 30 feet above the bridge, at least. It was really something to see. This has to be some kind of mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witness back down to earth. What? Me? This witness is your friend, is he not? Accessory to foolishness. Miles Edgeworth. Let's get back to the cross-examination by force if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here. Yes, Your Honor. Looks like I've got another reason to remember this moron. Well, what did you think of my debut piece? Get that thing away from me. Now, hurry up and cross-examine him. She didn't have it.
Objection!
Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care. In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you a whole $1 if that's the truth. If that is truly the case, then there is one thing that we can say for certain. What might that be? The person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant Iris. What? What do you mean? I don't understand. A foolhardy folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolishly foolhardy fool. How exactly can you make this claim? Tell us, Larry. According to this picture, the individual whom you saw was wearing a hood, correct? Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris. The Iris is my darling hood. It seems there are bigger fools in this world than the one at the fence's bench. Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight? What are you talking about? I think you understand what I mean just fine. Why did Nick have Iris's hood? What? Edgy, what's going on with Iris and Nick? Why, you Nick, you dog! Man, calm your tits, boy. I do believe That this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited, and discarded straight into the garbage. Huh. I don't know. What is it now, witness? It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this day to come. Edgy, today's the day I get completely stupefy you. What? What is the meaning of this outburst, witness? I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence. Definitive evidence? Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge, and Lori's Dunim. She'll prove it. I didn't expect to ask this again, but we shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in the sketch, and show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually a reality. Okay, I hope you're ready, Edgy, because I'm gonna feed you a whopping serving of pain. You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time, trust me. Proof that Iris flew. When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led me to finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. Oh, yes they could. It's missing from Mrs. Dunim's staff. Crystal sphere? This one. Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers. That spear, where did you find it? Let me see. Around here somewhere? Looks about right. And it was half buried in the snow? It had pretty much stopped snowing by then. But there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge. That court accepts this crystal sphere. That's mine, okay? I want it back after. There's something on it. Oh my. It's blood. What? Blood. You're ready, Eddie? But by tomorrow you'll be calling me Master Larry. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's gonna push me around anymore. Didn't you want to be called Larice Dunim only a few minutes ago? I already know what I need to do.
Objection!
Larry, that night, there was someone who lost a crystal sphere. There was? Who? Who was this stupid idiot? Miss Elise Dunim, the mentor to a stupid idiot. The victim? I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar-looking crystal sphere. Hey, that's my photograph. Give it back. Ouch! A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch. They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff found at the scene of the crime. The crystal sphere is gone. What? 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 Just what does this mean? If anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris after all. She was not wearing a hood, more importantly. The crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either. That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Elise Dunim? A fool alongside another fool on a fool's errand to reach the foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected. You can't do that, I saw it with my own two eyes. And this crystal sphere, this is nothing more than a red herring. You honestly believe that? Give it some thought, and I'm sure you'll realize it as well, Miles Edgeworth. Elise Dunim was in her room in the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, the sphere cannot be related to this case. That is all. She was looking for Pearl. I know. I was commenting on that earlier. I said I went to say hi, I went to wave hello, but then said I did a break dance and said sup. Miss Franziska von Karma. The only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns. Why are you pointing at me? The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of her murder. Yet you expect us to believe this has nothing to do with the case? That crystal sphere, it was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder. After the murder? There's blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent, which is the exact same reason that he drew this ridiculous sketch. What? You mean I'm the killer? No, all joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case. She makes a valid point. There's no evidence that Elise Dunim left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. If it is not related to the case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a momentum waste of time. Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, smiled Edgeworth. I'm assuming it's because of Pearl. Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place? I assume it's because of Pearl. Just simply prove it, that's the only option. That's what he'd do. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I prove that the crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case. You will do that? That look in your eyes, you remind me of Phoenix Wright when he is cornered. That should come as no surprise, because right now I am Phoenix Wright and I am indeed cornered. I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder. This crystal sphere, it was half buried in the snow, correct? That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing, then it would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it. That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear. But what? When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing, even if it was ever so slightly. Snowing? On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there is no snow on the victim's body. Ah. Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder. Well, what? What? Order. On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge, and there, something occurred that caused the staff's crystal sphere to come loose. What could have been? The sphere, there's some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge. The murder didn't take place at the Hazakura Temple courtyard. Only a fool would suggest such a piece of absolute foolishness. Just who is the fool, and which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma? Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Miles Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. No, she didn't. That's not exactly true, now is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body. That's the same thing. No, it isn't. You said it yourself. Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of the blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from the body, that would be when the blade is removed. If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding. You are forgetting one vital thing, Miles Edgeworth. Elise Junim's body was found in Hazakura Temple. On foot, it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest someone carried the body all that way? Now, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have one explanation. On the snowy night, there is one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon, but it could have also been used to carry a body. Order. This is a completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave. What do you mean? The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She's the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put the final nail in your coffin? Yeah. You're too late, Francesca von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation. What? Where was the victim Elise Dunim really killed? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean? Do you ever even need to think about that? Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it. This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point. Angie, thank you. That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances. Ugh. Right. I seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It is just as I thought. Francesca von Karma, you make a wonderful partner. Excuse me? There was one reason, and one alone, for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case and then pass it on to Wright. Really? That's what this was all about? You could have just told me at the very beginning, and then I wouldn't have had friends. Miles Edgeworth, I don't care what you were here to do. This is my chance to finally grind you under my heel. A shame that your chance seems to have slipped you by. What a shame. Frenzy! This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. Ow, 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 ow. I demand satisfaction. Ooh, girl. Chill. I cannot believe that the witness testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the questions it raises. Have his words here today been the truth or lies? Next time we gather in the courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I am counting on thorough investigation by both the defense and the prosecution. And with this, the rest is up to you. Right. Court is now adjourned. Nice. But that is where I will stop. Because I never know when I'm gonna have work. And I know I have work at like 1:30 tomorrow, or 12:30, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't want to do it, but it's money, so I'll do it. Alright, guys. Or you, because it's just you. Just you, my friend. My beautiful friend. Well, if I have time tomorrow, I'll probably, yeah, of course, just you. Yeah, if I have time tomorrow after I do work and stuff, then I'll probably keep playing because I want to get this done because we're very close to the end of this game. And then I need to break it down, and then I need to play the excavation of Hobbs Barrow. Barrow. Words. Okay. Night.